Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining the Castles of Burgundy, the card game. So this is the Castles of Burgundy, the card game. Last week I did the dice game. A few weeks back I did the original game. Even though it's in the 20th anniversary edition form, it's still the original game. It has all the expansions in it. So I thought, oh, I'll just get in and actually get a feel for all of the Castles of Burgundy stuff. In fact, some time back I did the Castles of Tuscany, which uses the similar mechanisms to move through the game. I found that this one is probably the least attractive to me in terms of play and the way of play. It just feels like there's a lot of stuff going on that you need to get your head around in order to play the game, because there's a lot on the table. Having said that, there are only 6 possible actions that you can use. So this is really similar to the original board game. You're starting each turn with 2 cards in your hand. You're choosing which of those 2 cards to use for the die number that is at the top of the card. And that is all you are using that card for. The die number will tell you which other card you can bring into your kind of the building area. The die number will tell you, will match with those cards to tell you can build this type of building. When you build this type of building, you get a bonus that is on the bottom of the card. All this stuff feels really similar to the original board game. You can use that die to pass in some goods or trade some goods, and you get some silver whenever you trade the goods. You can use silver if you've got 3 of them to, in essence, it's kind of like the black market area of Castles of Burgundy. You can use that 3 silver to pick up 3 cards, to choose one of those 3 cards to either use the number on top of it or to put it into your building area. When you're building the stuff, you're placing it down, and whoever gets up to 3 of the same building color will get a card to say, you got 3 of that. And there's a bonus that comes along with getting that. The earlier you do it in the game, the bigger that bonus potentially is. There's an awful lot of stuff to think about within that. There are animals. If you know the original game, this is actually a shift on that original thought. So in the original game, when you go after the farming area, if you get sheep into your farm, you want to fill that same farm area with as many sheep as you possibly can. Whereas in the card version of the game, if you have a sheep, you actually want to have a pig or a chicken. I can't remember exactly what the animals are, but there's 4 different types of animals, and at the end of the game you're getting points for combinations of all 4. So if you have all 4 and then you have all 4 again, you're getting that points twice. If you have all 4 and then you have 1, that 1 isn't scoring you anything. So there's different amounts of points for the combinations of animals that you have, and look, that's a really good thing. But you just got to be really careful that you don't get stuck with the, I've got sheep, I want to get more sheep and more sheep and more sheep, which realistically is how you would play the board game version. There's so much going on with this. You're getting a benefit card for having one of each or multiples of each. But as soon as you have one of each different type of building built, then you can get a points card. And realistically, what we're looking for is just points on the bottom of those cards when we get to the end of the game. How do we get there? There's so much stuff going on with these cards to kind of get your head around to, I can do that to get this and that. And that's really the game. The idea of manipulation of the dice. So the cards that you're playing out of your hand, in essence, are the dice. So the manipulation of the dice with up and down, that works exactly the same. So you'll have some cards that enable you to do that, but you can only have a maximum of 2 cards unless this other thing happens and you can add them in. Don't worry too much about that, but there's a lot of that kind of little minutiae stuff going on with this game. That's kind of the essence of it. I've found it really difficult to get my way through the rulebook. I think I got caught at the beginning simply because this game doesn't do one of the things I really, really wish every game would do, and that's have a page of the rulebook that shows you the element and tells you what they're calling it. They just use words, and it's up to you to then work out, I think they're talking about this type of card. Yeah. And so just that little element took me a little while to get that one to the table, which is why I think this is actually not as good as the other games. it's just harder to get into. I think that's really the key to it. Am I able to get this onto the table and play it relatively quickly, or am I going to put it on the table and have to go, oh, okay, so this does this to get through all the rules for a new group. If you watched last week's dice game version, that one can get to the table extraordinarily quickly and can be explained extraordinarily quickly to those sitting at the table. This one takes a little bit more time to kind of get through all of the different things that can go on with the rules. Please go ahead and watch my Gamesplaned Gamesplanation for Castles of Burgundy, the card game. There is only one other video for this one, but please go ahead and watch it. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be gamesplained, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.